All right, we're here, folks. They're here, the Irish contingent. We have Pádraig O'Kane, the co-founder of the Aer Lingus College Football Classic, also a restaurateur and a very experienced and successful businessman in Dublin. And we were joined by the Lord Mayor, which sounds 10 times cooler than just the mayor of Dublin, Daithí Doroiste. We appreciate you gentlemen being here. First off, welcome to Florida. Welcome to Tallahassee. How have things been so far, Mr. O'Kane?
Thank you, it's fantastic. We missed the rain. The weather seems too good for us, to be honest with you. But no, we got in. We flew into Orlando last night and drove down and got a good night's sleep. And we're just after seeing the team do some training, and we just seen your magnificent stadium next. So couldn't be better. Really good delegation here with us.
Mr. Rushdie, you had 50,000 people out there for the game this past year for this one. What did it mean to see the city come alive for this game?
This game now is so important to Dublin City. You only had to look at what happened a few weeks ago in Dublin when we'd over 40,000 Americans come to the city. They came because the football on offer was really, really high quality, but also they came to experience everything that Dublin and Ireland has to offer, and it's been absolutely amazing. We're delighted to be here. We're delighted to be launching Game Day Zero for next year, and yeah, it's absolutely amazing to be over here.
Mr. O'Kane, you've put so much of your time into making this game take off. I mean, how gratifying is it to see not only the city of Dublin, the country of Ireland, but everybody abroad coming into town and taking such pleasure in this game?
Yeah, it's fabulous. When we started this journey, we could never imagine that this would be the third consecutive year where college football season starts in Dublin. To bring the Seminoles and Georgia Tech in next year is just, phenomenal. And Dublin has really taken to it. It's a sport. American football is a sport we're getting to know better through the NFL, but through college now, it's amazing. People are putting their colours on beforehand and are really coming out to these games as well and starting to support them. So it's developing the whole game over there, etc. But for you guys coming in, to town next year, I think Florida State and Georgia Tech can beat that Notre Dame record. I think more than 40,000 you can travel. I have a funny feeling it's just going to be all Florida State and a little bit of Georgia Tech all over Dublin next year.
Yeah. Mr. Rushdie, to see your city come alive, what does it mean? Is it going to help you get re-election? Is that how it works?
Well, we wouldn't be worrying too much about re-election. For me, it's so gratifying to see people come to the city. As I said already, the quality of football on offer, the quality of what the guys put together in terms of bringing people to the city, it's absolutely amazing. Like, we shut down a street in the middle of Dublin and we had tens of thousands of people just enjoying culture, getting ready as part of one of the biggest tailgates. And as we said, I'm being told already that this game is tracking to be bigger numbers, and we're so excited to welcome everybody to Dublin. So my message to everybody is, come to Dublin next year, have an absolute ball, and hopefully then you guys will go and beat Georgia Tech.
Lord Mayor, you've been to Atlanta, you've made these trips to help push the game and let people know how exciting it can be. Why is it important to get out and come to the States and, I guess, interact with some of these fan bases?
Well, it's important so people realise just how great an experience Game Day Zero now is when people come to Dublin. Like, there's going to be over 80,000 people in the stadium for Saturday night's game or Saturday afternoon's game. Like, that's exciting. It's exciting to get out there, to let them know everything that's going on offer. And it also gives them a chance to really get on the road, to get outside of the US and to come to Europe and support their team. So I think it's win-win for absolutely everybody, and that's why we're so excited to be involved in this. We think it's great, and it's just growing and growing and getting bigger and bigger every year. So I think next year is going to be absolutely amazing.
What do you get out of these visits, Mr. O'Kane?
So, the theme of the games is much more than a game. So while we're here, it's not just looking, yes, there's a football game coming to Ireland next year, but it's the academic side, it's the business side, it's how we make a connection with the state of Florida. 2.5 million people in your last census claimed Irish ancestors. So it's keeping that connection and growing it and bringing it to the next level. So, it's a week of programme that will happen in Dublin next year from the academic, the business side, the networking. And it's not all about, Daithí will hate me saying this, but it's not all about Dublin. People will come in and they'll see our beautiful country. They'll stay 3 or 4 nights in Dublin and 3 or 4 nights around the country. So it's their vocation in relation to how they come in. So to us, to answer your question, this is about making serious long-term connections with the state of Florida, the University of Florida, and driving that on and being part of the culture. And hopefully it'll be easy to get you back again in 8 or 10 years' time for a rematch.
Absolutely. Lord Mayor, folks aren't going to hop on a plane and cross the Atlantic just for a football game. They want to take in the entire experience of being in Ireland. Have you been able to kind of sense these games when the Americans show up, they really do embrace, whether it's going to somewhere like Epic and seeing the culture of Ireland or things of that nature?
So what we're noticing is the massive boost that this brings. People come, as Pádraig says, they get to experience Dublin, but they also get to see everything that Ireland has to offer. They get to go around the place. And as Pádraig says, like, it is much more than a game. That's not just a slogan. Like, there was 500 people there for a CEO lunch. There was 250 US legislators that came to town for a big dinner. There was grassroots football, connecting grassroots football through games throughout Dublin and what went on. So there's so much on offer, and that's before we get to the touristy things. There's so much around the game for people to come to enjoy and to really see and take part in and experience.
How about you, Mr. O'Kane? I mean, you've seen this game kind of, from its inception. Is Dublin embracing the sport of American football? Are you seeing them kind of enjoy the game itself and not so much maybe the circumstance and the pomp around it?
Yeah, hugely. But one of the things we've worked on since we first, the first big game that came over in 2012, albeit the first American college football game was in 1988 between Boston and Army. So there's a history here for a long time. But we're starting to Irishize things like tailgates and pep rallies and making sure you guys is home away from home, and how do we take what you normally do from tailgating, for example, and how do we, open up our streets like Temple Bar and Dame Street and turn them into real fun. So while we're talking the serious side of it, there's really a fun side. This is about a holiday. And by the way, it'll probably rain at some stage during your visit. So the weather you'll be going through at the end of August next year in Ireland is nice and cool and a little bit of rain, bit of sunshine, etc. But there's a serious part of a game and there's a fun part of a family holiday, and that's where we've tried to balance in together, and that's what much more in the game, and that's what the Lingus College Football Series is all about.
Yeah, we can attest to it. When we came back to Orlando and got off the plane, it was like, it was so beautiful in Dublin for that week in late July, and it'll be very similar, obviously, when the game happens in August. Lord Mayor, I know you're a very busy man, but have you been able to keep up at all with Florida State? They're number 5 in the nation. They're undefeated. Are people at least keeping you in touch with
absolutely, and I believe they're absolutely flying. So we're looking forward to a big Florida State victory on Saturday night. I believe it should be comfortable, although there's nothing ever comfortable in sports. Hopefully we'll get a win, and we'll get to see a win on Saturday.
How about you, Mr. O'Kane? Is anyone keeping you updated about how Georgia Tech and Florida State are looking this year?
I'm keeping myself updated. We're looking very closely. That Clemson game a couple of weeks ago, the access to college football in Ireland this year doesn't seem to be as good as previous years. Some television are changing, so any way we can get a look at a game. But we're watching very closely, and it's brilliant how you guys are doing. And it wouldn't be amazing if you came to Dublin as dare I say it, as national champions. We'd love that.
Absolutely. And just lastly, again, Lord Mayor, if there's anything we haven't touched upon, just the pride that Dublin's taken with this game and your excitement to host Florida State.
And just to see Dubliners getting involved and welcoming, particularly the guys coming from Florida. Pork will tell you, we had 2 fantastic pep rallies as well ahead of the games there a few weeks ago. We'd over 10,000 people in the 3 Arena for a Notre Dame pep rally, and with thousands of people in Merrion Square, one of our big public parks in Dublin, that were enjoying the Navy pep rally. The Secretary of the Navy was over. Like, it's such a great experience to come to Dublin, and as I said, everybody's most welcome, and there'll be a big Cade meal of Fáilte for everybody coming across the pond.
How difficult will it be to get reservations at Soul or Fire next year, Mr. O'Kane, at your delicious, fantastic restaurants in Dublin City Centre?
Yeah, I appreciate the plug. We'll do our best to make sure they're full of Florida folks, etc. But to get a little bit more information at the moment, SeminolesToIreland.com. There's both travel and hospitality packs available with tickets on sale at the moment if you want to just get ahead. Stadium is nearly sold out from hospitality, etc. So demand has been strong, particularly from the Florida State side, etc. So as I said, more information. I know you guys are very focused on this season, and for a good reason, but next season won't be long coming around. So SeminolesToIreland.com, and you'll get a lot more information.
Absolutely. And don't forget, folks, there's like nearly a dozen airports in America that you can fly nonstop to Dublin in on Aer Lingus. And again, it's Seminoles 2, the numeral 2, Ireland.com. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Enjoy your time here in Tallahassee.
Go Seminoles.